Hello, and welcome to Not Boring English. Today's story is called Lost Keys, New Friend, and it is perfect for learners at the A1 and A2 levels. As you listen, please pause the video to practice the shadowing technique. This means you listen and then repeat after me to improve your pronunciation and fluency. If I speak too fast, you can change the playback speed in the settings to slow down the video. Let's start the story. Lost Keys, New Friend. My name is Chloe. Last Tuesday was a beautiful day. The sun was warm and the sky was blue. I was happy. I went to a small cafe near my home. I like this cafe. It is quiet. I bought a cup of hot chocolate. It was very good. I sat by the window and I watched the people outside. It was a nice afternoon. After 1 hour, I finished my hot chocolate. It was time to go home. I put on my coat. I said goodbye to the man at the cafe. He was nice. I opened the door and walked outside. The weather was still beautiful. On my way home, I walked through a small park. The park is very green. It has big trees and many flowers. It also has benches. You can sit on a bench and relax. I saw an empty bench. I thought, I will sit here for a few minutes. I like to sit in the park when the sun is warm. I sat on the wooden bench. I closed my eyes. I listened to the sounds. I could hear birds in the trees. I could hear children playing. They were laughing. It was a happy sound. I felt very calm and relaxed. After 10 minutes, I opened my eyes. I thought, okay, it is time to go home now. I needed my keys. I need my keys for my apartment door. My keys are important. I have a big brown bag. I always put my keys in my bag. I have a special pocket for my keys. It is a small pocket inside my bag. I always put my keys there. So, I opened my bag. I put my hand inside the small pocket. There was nothing in the pocket. It was empty. I thought, that is strange. I put my hand in the pocket again. I moved my fingers around. Nothing. No keys. I started to feel worried. My calm feeling was gone. I thought, where are my keys? I started to look in the big part of my bag. I took things out of my bag and put them on the bench. First, I took out my wallet. No keys. Then, I took out my phone. No keys. I took out a book. I took out a pen. I took out an apple. I took all the things from my bag. My keys were not there. Now I was very worried. My heart was fast. I thought, oh no, my keys are lost. How can I go home? I put everything back in my bag. I closed my bag. I looked at the ground. Maybe my keys fell on the ground. I looked under the bench. No keys. I looked on the grass next to the bench. No keys. I stood up. I started to check my pockets. I was wearing a coat. My coat has 2 pockets. I put my hand in the right pocket. It was empty. I put my hand in the left pocket. It was also empty. I felt sad. I did not know what to do. I just stood there. I looked around the park. I felt very alone. Then I heard a voice. It was a soft voice. It was a kind voice. The voice said, "Excuse me, are you okay?" I looked to my side. On another bench, there was a woman. She was an old woman. She had white hair. She wore a blue coat. She had a kind face, She was smiling at me. I said, "No, I am not okay." My voice was quiet. The woman asked, "What is the problem?" I said, "I lost my keys. I cannot find them." The woman said, "Oh, I am sorry. Losing keys is not fun. Can I help you?" She was so nice. Her kind voice made me feel a little better. I said, "I don't know." I looked everywhere. I looked in my bag. I looked in my pockets. The woman said, "Sit down for a minute. Let's think." So I walked to her bench and I sat down next to her. She asked me, "Where were you before you came to the park?" I thought for a moment. I said, "I was at the cafe on the corner." The woman nodded. "Okay, and what did you do there?" I said, "I had a hot chocolate. I sat at a table." The woman asked another question. "Did you have your coat with you?" "Yes," I said. "It was on my chair." "And your bag?" she asked. "My bag was on the table," I said. The woman smiled a little. She said, "Okay, now think about when you left the cafe. You stood up, you put on your coat. Tell me exactly what you did." I closed my eyes. I tried to remember. I said, "Okay, I stood up. I put on my coat. My coat has another pocket. It has a pocket on the inside." My eyes opened. I stopped talking. An idea came into my head. An important idea. I have an inside pocket in my coat. I never use it. But when I left the cafe, my phone was in my right hand. I remember now. It was hard to put my keys in my usual pocket. Maybe I put my keys in the other pocket? The inside pocket? My hands started to shake a little. I was excited. I quickly put my hand inside my coat. I found the inside pocket. I put my fingers inside, and I felt them. My keys. They were there, cold and hard. My keys were in the inside pocket of my coat. They were not lost. I pulled them out of my pocket. I held them in my hand. "I found them," I said loudly. "They are here. They were in my coat." I was so happy. I was so happy. I looked at the old woman. I had a very big smile on my face. She was smiling too. She said, "That is wonderful news. I am so happy for you." I said, "Thank you. Thank you so much. You helped me." She said, "You found them. You just needed to think calmly." I told her my name is Chloe. She told me her name is Rose. We talked for 5 more minutes. She was a very interesting person. Then I said goodbye to Rose. I walked home. I had my keys in my hand. I was not worried anymore. I felt happy. I lost my keys for a little while, but I met a new, kind friend. Sometimes a small problem can bring a good thing, comprehension, questions. Now, I will ask a few questions about the story to check your comprehension. 1. Where was the narrator when she realized her keys were gone? 2. Who helped the narrator when she was worried? 3. Where did she find her keys in the end? Thank you for listening to today's story. I hope you enjoyed it. Have you ever lost your keys or something important? Tell me in the comments below, and please subscribe for more stories to help you learn English. See you next time.